Let's talk this through with our business reporter, Jonathan Josephs, who's keeping an eye on this for us. Jonathan, so the can is being kicked down the road again till after the US election, we assume.
Yes, Sally, that's right. As you say, this US election is on the horizon next year, and the deal that's been agreed means that these tariffs that were supposed to come back into force at the end of this year will now not come back into force for 15 months until the end of March 2025, once the winner of that US election is in the White House. And for President Biden, it's an opportunity to keep his EU allies on side, whilst at the same time appearing tough on trade for a domestic audience, because in places like Pennsylvania and Ohio, metal-making jobs could be key. They could be important to helping him win those potentially crucial states in that election. So we have this suspension of the tariffs continuing. And what's important to remember is that President Trump is lurking in the background, might well be the Republican candidate in that election, and he's already introduced the idea of potentially putting even more tariffs on everything coming into the United States.
And in terms of the bigger picture, what does this mean going forward? Of course, there's a lot of unknowns. We don't know who's going to win the US election for a start.
We don't know who's going to win that election, but the bigger picture here is that the United States and the European Union are both concerned about Chinese overproduction, as they see it, of steel, and that they think China sells some of that on international markets at below cost price. In the past, China has denied doing that. But there's another aspect, which is the environmental impact of steel production. It can be quite dirty, and the EU and the US are working on a global agreement. It's been going on for a couple of years now, but no agreement yet. And they want to penalise, with tariffs, the dirtiest steel, and that would be detrimental to China. So, but the fact that they can't agree is perhaps reflective of the wider malaise in international trade policy. The United States has been saying for a while now it wants to see reform of the global trade system, but hasn't, at least publicly, spelt out exactly what that will mean. And so everyone's left guessing, and that means that it's unlikely that when there's a big major gathering of trade ministers to get the World Trade Organization in Abu Dhabi in February, that they're unlikely to be able to achieve anything of substance that will reform the global trade system.
OK, Jonathan, thank you very much indeed on that.